The international backlash against the Sydney Morning Herald over its reporting of Rebel Wilson's new relationship with fashion designer Ramona Gruma has intensified, with celebrities including Whoopi Goldberg now criticizing the masthead. Columnist Andrew Hornery and Herald editor Bevan Shields have this week apologized after Wilson was given a 2-day deadline to respond to plans to write about the relationship. Hornery initially complained in Saturday's private Sydney column about being gazumped by Wilson, who herself revealed on Friday that Gruma was her new partner. Goldberg, on her show The View, was scathing of Hornery's apology, where he said it was never the Herald's intention to out Wilson. "If it wasn't your intention, you wouldn't have done it," she said. "You knew exactly what you were doing. They say, oh well, people want to know. I don't care what people want to know, frankly. I want to keep my privacy. It should be my choice if I want to talk about something." Shields on Tuesday afternoon published a note to subscribers in which he accepted full responsibility for the SMH's coverage and apologized for the delay in acknowledging mistakes were made. "The Saturday piece should not have been published, and that is ultimately on me as editor. For that, I apologize to Wilson and anyone offended by it," the editor said. Shields also acknowledged that his small note defending our approach on Sunday was a misstep. "As editor, I was conscious of supporting staff, but I should have also acknowledged our mistakes, which is what I'm doing today," he wrote. The Herald is an inclusive masthead, an ally of LGBTIQ+ readers and Australians. "This episode was far from ideal, and while there was no malice involved, I recognize our mistakes and apologize for them." Australian comic Magda Subanski has said the paper had no God-given right to know anything about the private life of anyone in a tweet addressed to Shields. "I don't claim to speak on behalf of Rebel Wilson. But for LGBTQ+ people, the consequences of what is nothing more than a hissy fit over who gets to print gossip can have devastating effects," she said. International media outlets including the New York Times, CNN and the BBC have reported on Hornery's column and the response. The Times pointed to criticism from Wilson's fans, journalists, and members of the LGBTQ+ community who argued the decision to come out and went to do so as a personal one. In his initial weekend column, Hornery wrote that on Thursday he had given the Australian film star 2 days to respond and told her he had enough confirmation to publish a story. The next day, Wilson posted a picture of herself with Gruma on Instagram, saying she had thought she was searching for a Disney prince. "But maybe what I really needed all this time was a Disney princess," she wrote. Hornery's original column was pulled and replaced by his mea culpa on Monday. The gossip columnist said he had made mistakes and he would take a different approach in the future. Despite originally publishing his note defending the paper's actions, Shields on Monday afternoon also apologized. In a message to staff, he said he agreed with Hornery that it was appropriate to approach Wilson, given she had posted pictures of herself with Gruma on social media, but he had expected to decide on Friday whether or not to publish a story depending on Wilson's response. "It would be impossible to publish without such a response," he said. "Mistakes were made in our approach to Wilson and I apologize for them," Shields wrote. The editor said he would not have published a piece unless Wilson had agreed to be involved. "The inclusion of a deadline was an error as it appeared to be an ultimatum," he wrote.